All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have the students lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Krista Cambenzi,
Here.
Glenn Sarka,
Here.
James Hewitt,
Here.
Jennifer Cliff,
Here.
Jennifer Ray,
Here.
Cheryl Maddox-Smith,
Here.
Jason Zajunik,
Here.
Okay, and I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Zadinek, support by Mrs. Clip. All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Cambenzi and audience for attending, Superior Hills for hosting. As always, appreciate your accommodations. If you would like, whoever is presenting, I'm going to go ahead and invite Principal Anderson up, and she's going to introduce the rest of the folks that are going to present, and then I have one other item on the superintendent report after they're done.
I have to stand behind the podium.
No.
Oh, good.
The camera guy likes when the mic picks up.
Alexa, is it on? Okay, good. Well, I'm Stephanie Anderson. I am the principal of Superior Hills Elementary. Welcome to our beautiful school on this beautiful night, this beautiful campus. This place is very special to me. I spent the majority of my career teaching here. My own children went to school here, and now I'm finishing out my career as the principal. So thank you for joining us tonight. We will have Britta Taylor, Logan Love, Janet Anderson, and Mindy Longton giving a presentation because I want you to hear from them rather than me, because they're actually boots on the ground working with students here and have created some initiatives on their own that I want you to hear about. I also have a little flyer from our parent group called SHAPE, Superior Hills Association of Parents and Educators. It's just a little thank you note for helping us with our new playground equipment. It's on the south side of the building if you want to take a little walk tonight and check it out. But here's our flyer if you wouldn't mind passing it around. And feel free to look around the building tonight. We're very happy you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Britta Taylor for anyone who doesn't know me. I've been with the district since 2013. This will be my second year in kindergarten here at Superior Hills, and I wanted to share some insights about our kindergarten garden and Kinder Camp and beyond. So Kinder Camp is a grassroots initiative that we started here 3 years ago with the intention of doing what's best for our youngest students. So to be a part of this as a professional has filled my bucket time and time again. And then my own first grade daughter is a product of Kinder Camp. So I know firsthand as a mom, the collective effort that made a difference to her as a student. So to start the school year, we look at each student coming into us in May. That's good, that means that there's progress happening here, I think that. I know that we look at the kindergarten screening information that comes in May, and we draft rosters to work with those students come August. So we work with our instructional coach, Terry Tamlin, to do that. And then the kindergarten screening process is really something that we take with a lot of practice, and we look at and we form those lists. Over the summer, we collaborate intensively. We plan and prepare through professional development opportunities across the area, including Marisa, and this allows us to be fully ready for that first week of school and the collaboration that goes behind Kinder Camp. So during that first week with Kinder Camp, we introduce ourselves to over 70 families, and we invite them into each of our classrooms because each of us will be their kid's teacher, which is really cool. Before that, we work diligently, we let those kids settle in, and it's kind of a beautiful mess. And we look at each child's needs and tendencies and strengths. And before that second week of school, we meet as a team and we place the students where they will thrive with their companion plants, so marigolds and tomatoes, so to speak. It is communicated to families that we will continue to support their students as a team of teachers through WIN time. So that stands for What I Need. And I think I have a little picture. So for example, these 3 students were in my classroom last year during that WIN time for ELA development, and they were all from 3 different classrooms. But they looked at me as their teacher, and then this other picture here is that first week of kinder camp, and there are some friends working together that were from different classrooms, just happening to work on a puzzle together and talking about the foundations of math. So we plant each kindergarten seed in the garden that they'll grow best. So throughout those first 6 weeks of school that we've been in so far, we're figuring out the balance. We're feeling a sense of belonging, working out expectations, and helping our kiddos understand that foundations of academics is really important. And we have grade level meetings every few weeks to keep tending our garden, and we're differentiating that instruction because we understand that what kids need best, and every teacher is their teacher. And I've been at Target before, and kids are like, "That's my teacher," and I'm thinking, "You're not really my kid on Skyward, but like, yeah, I am your teacher." And like, I'm looking out at all the teachers, and I'm like, "Yep, we're teachers. We're all their teachers." So I'm really proud to be a part of that. We have a great team within these walls, a dedicated team, including our principal, Stephanie, and Terry Tamlin and Mindy Longton, and paraprofessionals that show up to cover here and there and just be a part of it. Our entire staff is tending to the needs of 400 plus students. Every single day we're digging in here. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity, thankful for our SHAPE group, parent volunteers, the city of Marquette. We all work together, and we're always looking for volunteers. So if you have any spare time, you might leave a little sticky, and lots of wrap leg hugs, as Zach knows. They tend to hug his knees, but you're guaranteed to leave with smiles and giggles. So thank you for this opportunity.
He always kind of freaks out when I hug his knees.
All right, so this might take some. Okay, here we go. All right, hi everybody. My name is Logan Love, and I am a special education teacher here at Superior Hills. I was so excited when Stephanie asked me to come talk about our functional skills program, because not only do I get to brag about the most incredible kids in the district, I also get to talk about my passion. So teaching FSP has been a dream of mine ever since I was a student at MSHS in Mrs. Nolt's Ed Occupations classroom. My junior year, I spent 2 hours a day, 4 days a week at the Sandy Knoll FSP. So 10 years later, here I am starting my 3rd year of teaching the functional skills program. So, what is FSP? So FSP stands for Functional Skills Program. In legal terms, it just means that we are a self-contained special education classroom where we serve as the homeroom for students that have a variety of different complex needs. How we got started. So we've always had an elementary level special education or elementary level functional skills program, but it was housed at Sandy Knoll. As our enrollment grew, so did our students with complex needs, leading us to open up the FSP here 3 years ago. So a little bit about our FSP Huskies. They're adorable, I know. We service a wide range of students with many different eligibilities under special education. So we have students that have autism spectrum disorder, we have students with cognitive impairments, we have students with severe multiple impairments. All of these are just their eligibilities that qualify them for special education, but they bring so much more to our classroom and to our school community. So in trying to sum up what I was going to say to you guys and how I was going to encompass this program, I struggled because there is so much that goes into it every day. So I'm going to let you just read this to start with, and then I'm going to break it down for you piece by piece. So I'm going to give you a minute to read that.
All right, so you're probably thinking, what does this all mean? So I'm going to give you kind of a sneak peek into our classroom by walking through these through pictures, videos, and examples. So first up, we work on daily living skills. This is something that you might not see in the general education classroom. We work on these essential skills to not only help our students in the school community, but to help them beyond. Some of the skills we're working on with our students are potty training, hygiene, sitting in a designated area for a certain amount of time, transitioning from one activity to the other, washing their hands, how to simply sit at one spot and ask for help when you need it, when you're opening food or opening snacks. All of these daily living skills we get to practice them out in the community through our field trips. We've gone to the park, we've gone to the Children's Museum, we've gone to other schools, we've gone to the movie theater, and it gives our students real life experience. At the heart of everything, just like any classroom, is communication. Communication looks and sounds different for every student within my classroom. This requires my team and our parents to work together to model and teach different strategies for communication. So some strategies that we teach and model are AAC device, so communication devices. We use a lot of sign language, we use a lot of pictures, we teach verbal communication, and we use a lot of gestures as well. In FSP, every form of communication is accepted and valued. All of my students have different growth or different areas that they are working on, and they all find different ways to communicate and what works best for them. A perfect example of this is my friend Tito. So Tito came to us 3 years ago, and he had a vocabulary of about 15 words. Tito now, through all the strategies that we utilized in our classroom, is chatty Cathy. So much so that there are times that I'm like, okay, I need to just go check my mailbox for a minute. I need a break for just a few minutes. But it's been wonderful to watch him grow through using all of the strategies. He's kind of taken them step by step. Another focus that goes hand in hand with communication and is a huge part of our daily lives in FSP is social emotional learning. Because my students don't always have the communication to ask for what they want, express what they need, or work through those big emotions, it requires not only me to teach and model those strategies, but to also create a safe environment where they feel comfortable implementing them and practicing them. So we use a variety of social emotional learning techniques in our classroom. We use a lot of social stories to help work through real life scenarios. We use a lot of visuals. We use sensory breaks and sensory tools. You can see in the middle, my friend, this year a big win for us was last year he would only cover his ears when there was loud sounds, and now he's actually grabbing his noise canceling headphones and then bringing them to an adult asking to have him help put them on. So what a better place than to practice all of these skills together than in inclusion and reverse inclusion. So for the past 3 years, my students have been pushing out in different parts of the day to participate with their gen ed peers. We are participating at lunchtime, we're participating at academics, we're participating for fun events, we're participating in specials at recess. All of my students have built strong connections and meaningful relationships with the peers and the staffs in our building. Not only does Superior Hills participate in inclusion, but we also participate in reverse inclusion, where we have our general ed peers come into our FSP classroom and they serve as models, friends, helpers. They'll come in for activities, they'll come in for snack time, they'll come in for recess, and it really has just made our entire school community a more understanding and accepting place. We're really building that empathy piece, and it's between both groups of students. So I know you're the Board of Education, so you're probably thinking okay, what about the academics, right? Well, we do those too. Unlike a general education, let's say first grade classroom or third grade classroom, FSP does not have a set curriculum. So a lot of what we do is purchased, made, found, and differentiated by me. So some examples you can see up here are, we have like airless file folder tasks, and then we also have file folders that at the bottom you can see are a little more challenging, and they have to match the letter to letter. So the nice thing about creating academic skills like this is I can really level it to meet my students where they're at. So a favorite part, my favorite part, and some of my students' favorite part of our day is we pick a book of the week, and it's an emergent reader, and we read it for a week or two, and I base a lot of our core activities around that. So for example, if it was like sharks, we do shark math, or we do shark reading or shark crafts. So I just have a little clip that I wanted to show you of my students participating in Book of the Week.
Oh, good job! Good job! Hey, turn the page. Ready? Miss, go, 10, fair. Yeah, and what does the ghost say? Boo! Good job, what does it say? Boo! Boo! I hear you! Boo! Good job!
How do I get back? There we go, okay. So everything I've talked about and what you saw in that video is my classroom on the most perfect day. In reality, some days feel like this. Some days it's wearing a helmet so that you don't get blocks thrown at your head. Some days it's holding a student after chairs have been flipped and tears have been shed. Some days it's going home with bite marks and bruises and thinking to myself, what can I do better to support my students? And some days it's opening your drawers to find cut up hair and day-old hot dogs. So even with all of these days, I would not change what I teach or my students for the world. They bring so much to our school community and have helped every staff member and every student grow, and they teach me new things every day. I stand strong by the fact that I have the most terrific kids in the district. So I want to leave you with two big thank yous. One, I would like to thank Zach and the board for approving the aide pay raise. This is the first time in 2 years that I have had a fully staffed classroom and have received a prep. This has been a tremendous change to my program, to my mental health, to my students. I'm a better teacher. I have time to make meaningful lessons. We're pushing them out more. We're getting more kids in. They're participating in specials, so thank you. That means the world to my kids, more than you could ever know. I also would like to give a huge thank you to Stephanie Anderson and every staff member at Superior Hills. It's true, what we learned about at our PD, your principal really leads by example and your building follows suit. Stephanie has been amazing when it comes to accepting my program, and every single staff member has followed suit with that. My kids can't walk down the hallway without feeling valued and loved, and they really just are part of Superior Hills Huskies. So, yeah. So feel free. Our door's always open. You can come meet them. They'd love to have you. I'll hide the scissors.
I wanted to apologize for the hair and hot dogs. Good time.
All right, I'm Mindy Longton. I've been able to teach JK kindergarten, first and fifth grade here in Marquette Public. So when I was able to take over the Title I position, I was fortunate because I had a lot of experience in different grades to do that job. This word collaboration at our PD on Monday and Tuesday, one of our speakers asked us to talk about collaboration. And then when they finished, they said, we'll talk about PLCs. And I was sitting with my staff and we were all like, it's not different, it's the same. Like our word of collaboration is the same. We couldn't figure out what the difference was. And so I think that's like a strength we have in Marquette Public, in our school, is our collaboration together. And we are very grateful that we've had the opportunity with your backing to do the PLCs, to have a literacy coach, and grade level meetings, which I help run. So that's the part I'm here to talk about, is those grade level meetings. It was, when I was teaching, I was a part of those grade level meetings, and we had a Title I teacher. But now with the addition of Terry Tamlin in our group, it's been a huge change in what we're able to do during those grade level meetings. So what we first do is gather all the data, do our screenings, and then our progress monitoring, and then we make groups for kids. We're working on our WIN groups that Britta mentioned, so what I need. So that's our first agenda when we meet for those, is trying to go through all the data, look at all the things, and then also our teachers, like what do you see, what do students need. So we not only make groups for me as a Title I teacher, but I have 2 people that work with me. We talk about special education, and then we also spend time making groups for the teachers too. So then they switch. Like in kindergarten, they'll have 3 different groups. Some kids might already be reading in kindergarten, so they'll push them to that level. So we try to switch it up in there where I might be remediating, trying to teach them their letters. So it's very valuable. And then with that, we've chosen to do them as a half-day meeting. And Terry and I like to spend time beforehand, and because she's so involved in the PLCs, we're able to really kind of dial down on what the teachers need. So we tailor our agendas to the K2 team and the 3-5 team, and we spend time asking them, or she's found out in those PLCs what they need more of. And so with the onset of all these new things, Fastbridge, Lexia, EduClimber, our STAT process, ABMR, science of reading, letters training, and then even the Literacy Leadership Network, which all the title teachers go to. We try to take that time to help our teachers with those things, because it's hard to get it done just in a PD to figure out what you need to do, and then once you work with something, you have a lot of questions. So we kind of split our meeting with both those things, and then we just try to support our teachers the best that we can during that time. So that's kind of it. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Janet Anderson. I teach 4th grade. I've been in the district since 2006, 3 years at Bothwell, and then my remaining time in 4th grade. I'm going to talk about, wrong button, trying to push, there we go, PLCs. So PLCs are our professional learning communities, and they allow teachers to work as a team to share ideas and use data to make their teaching better and help students learn. So a few things about our PLCs. We meet weekly as a grade level for 45 minutes, either before school or during prep. It's up to each grade level to decide what works best for them. Sometimes we will bring in other people in other grades if we feel like something needs to cross over between grades or different areas in the building. We come in with a preset agenda of topics to discuss, so we're prepared and have a purpose. We have 45 minutes, and we want to get as much done as possible. We don't want to use the time to gossip and talk about issues. We want to hit the students and find the needs and deal with them. And so we come in looking at these 4 critical questions. We say, where are the students now? We look at the data. What is it we expect students to learn? We're looking at the essential standards, the learning targets, the success criteria. And how will we know when we've learned that? Common assessments. And how will we respond when students struggle while others excel? And this is where we take action. What are we going to do? One example of the 4th grade PLC was last year we identified a need for a more structured nonfiction writing unit. So we got together at our PLC and we identified our learning targets. Through that, we created a rubric. We actually worked backwards, created our rubric, then went through and created lessons. We created examples. So this was the final product example that we created for the students to look at. We even created one with errors in it and allowed the students to come in and correct the errors. And it was hugely successful. The students enjoyed it. We're excited to use it again this year. And this year, we're using our PLC to focus on our persuasive writing unit and creating a more structured, persuasive writing unit. Starting this week, the 3rd through 5th grades are doing a book study. And we're all reading The Writing Revolution, and we're going to come together for the next few weeks. We have a reading plan that we're following with questions, and we're going to come in and we're really going to focus on our writing through 3rd through 5th grade. And I'm really proud of our PLCs and what this building has done to adapt them and make them work for us. So thank you for letting us share our amazing school with you.
Well, thank you very much, Stephanie, Britta, Logan, Mindy, Janet, everybody from Superior Hills. It's an amazing program, amazing building, amazing staff, and just a few highlights that you saw today. No surprise, having been here for some time, I know just how many wonderful things are going on. And it's great that the board gets to hear some evidence, some anecdotes about things that you've been part of, that you've approved and invested in our district, like instructional coaches and PLCs, which are huge initiatives, and I don't think you're going to find initiatives of that magnitude in every district that you go to, and we're starting to see some results, not just student achievement in the traditional sense of test scores, but improvement in climate, improvement in behavior, and just overall well-being of our kids. So thank you for supporting that. Moving on, I have the much less engaging topic. No offense to those who are passionate about overnight field trips, but I do have another agenda item here. I see Miss Jensen. Sorry, you might actually be passionate about the overnight field trips.
Wowza.
So, but the reality is there, you guys are just here to approve them. The actual trips are going to be incredible. So for now, we just need to approve that list of overnight field trips that you see in your packet. Miss Ersbaumer is here in case you have any questions, and otherwise, it's pretty much a routine every year that we do this. I don't know that there's any big changes from previous years. No, she's saying no. So aside from overnight field trips, if you have any questions for me on those or Ms. Ersbaumer, I will pass it back over to President Cambenzi.
Based on the costs associated with the learning trips, are there any students or families not able to attend the field trips due to costs that come up, or has that not been an issue?
Caitlin, you might, if you want to talk to yours, but not specifically for us. I mean, if a kid wanted to go, we find ways to support them. There's a lot of fundraising done by most of those groups.
Just so the camera picks it up, since, yeah, it's the mic won't, or the system won't pick it up if it's not set into a mic. So the answer is no. There's plenty of opportunities, right, to help families that are in need.
Fundraising groups.
Yeah, fundraising groups, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to approving the consent agenda, which would include the minutes of the Committee of the Whole and Special Meeting of October 7th, 2024, Personnel Report dated October 2024, and the Financial Reports of September 2024. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Mrs. Klipp, support by Mr. Hewitt. Any comments? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Student and School Board Representatives Report.
Yeah, thank you. Last time we were here, we talked about homecoming and how we're transitioning into that. And that just finished, and it went really, really well. Our student engagement was super high. Like dress-up days, full building, powder puff was all really, really good. And then Friday, we had the actual homecoming day, and the assembly went great. Our president and vice president did a really good job. and we transitioned into the parade. And that was super fun. The students had a great time. Community loved it. And then we had the football game, which they won, which was awesome. And then we capped it off with a dance. So it was overall a great experience.
So we have a lot of voters in our school who are over 18, and Matt Hoffman runs the script writing or announcements class that runs every day in advisory for all the students to see. And so he had the idea of bringing local people running for political roles in our community. And so we've had a lot of potential school board candidates. We've had Jen Hill come in, and we've had a lot of city commissioners as well. So that's been a cool thing for students to see, especially people who are over the age of 18, so they know who they're going to vote for.
And then MSH's sports are doing really well. Fall sports are coming to an end. Our cross-country team just won UP finals, both the boys and girls, and our boys actually set a state record for lowest points ever in a meet, so that's really cool. Soccer team just won district finals. We have a game tomorrow in Gaylord for regional semifinals. Football has one more home game, or one more regular season game until playoffs, and volleyball is twin strong. They have a few more games until playoffs also. That's all we have.
Thank you. All right, let's see, moving on to comments from the public. I don't believe we had any. Moving on to new business. Consider overnight and extended trips for MSHS for 2024-2025. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the overnight trips for the 2024-25 school year.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hewitt, supported by Mrs. Maddox Smith. Any further conversation? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Consider adoption of the annual summer tax resolution. Do we have any more information regarding that? No?
I mean, he might, but the thing doesn't reach. Hold on. Do you have anything to say?
Well, this is just a bit of housekeeping. Every year, we're required to approve an annual resolution for the collection of summer taxes. We do have a summer tax levy through the city of Marquette. So this will just authorize us to collect that levy during the summer of '25.
I make a motion to adopt the annual summer tax resolution as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Sarka, supported by Mrs. Clip. Any further conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving on to board member comments. We will start with Mr. Zednik.
I just wanted to mention, I thought the example of producing a book and allowing students to find the errors in that, I think that's really neat, great learning activity. So I thought that was really cool. Thank you to everyone for opening up your school to us, and much appreciated. Thank you.
Mrs. Maddox Smith.
I echo that as well. This is one of the best parts of the year, is getting to come to each school and hearing from you guys and seeing what you're doing and the passion that you bring to it. It just really brings it home what we're doing at the boardroom when we actually get to hear and see from you guys. So thank you very much. Our student reps, that was a lot of enthusiasm, and I love that update. Thank you for being here and sharing all that with us.
Thank you. Ms. Ray?
I just want to kind of comment that how inspired you all sound, and that it's inspiring to hear that. And you can feel the culture that is being created in all of our different schools. And that creates that foundation where, as you all have addressed it, that kids feel welcome, they feel included, that they're learning empathy, that they're, I mean, those are the things that make a healthy society, right? And make us all kind of, we're all better for it. And the fact that kids can walk down and learn from each other, it's pretty impressive. And I can feel it every time I walk into each school in our district. And listening to you two talk about all of the things that are going on at the high school is just as impressive. And the fact that I've watched some of the interviews you've been doing, and just the sports and the enthusiasm that you can feel the students are having, it's really nice to be past COVID, you know? And you can feel it. There's a shift. So I appreciate all that you all are doing. Thank you.
Mrs. Clip.
Yeah, just to echo what everybody said, this is my favorite season of the school board year, where we get to get inside of classrooms. It's my passion, so it's always fun to be with fellow teaching geeks. Although you are teaching kids a little bit younger than I am, you can feel it. I also wanted to just key in on a couple of things. That notion of not really being able to, there's all these buzzwords in education for those of us who aren't in it. And I loved what you said, Bindi, about we're talking about PLCs, but we're just talking about collaboration, right? Because that's what we are talking about. And to extend it, I guess, we hear again and again, or at least, I do. I don't think it's any big secret. I'm a husband that's constantly watching markets and helping folks do business planning. We know that employees are looking for the ability to collaborate. More than, at this point, they're even looking for areas of expertise. And if you are not able to work in a team, if you are not able to collaborate, and if you're not able to be open to strengths and weaknesses and filling each other's cups with both the strengths and challenges, we're really not setting ourselves up for an economy if we kind of dial it down into this sort of more analytical approach to it. So the fact that we are talking about these skills right now with littles is, it's wonderful, it's heartwarming, but it's also essential. So thank you. I know what this work takes, and it would, I think, surprise a lot of people with how diagnostic it can become, and the level of expertise that you really have to have on a macro scale to pull it off and to do it so well. You guys, thank you again for the updates on the high school. I do want to say that Caleb, I guess is what I'm supposed to call you here. He was being a little extra humble with the role he played on the district championship for soccer. That was fun. It was a beautiful day to be out there and watch. So, with the risk of making you even more red-faced. Nicely done, kid over there. But it was a great day for MAPS sports on Sunday, and the creator definitely set the stage well, because it was also a beautiful day. Great place to be here. We're happy to all be here, and I thank you all. Thanks.
Mr. Hewitt.
Short and sweet, thanks for inviting us into your building. Thanks for the presentations, and keep up the great work, and continued success for all MSHS athletics. Thank you.
Mr. Sarka.
Thank you. Good job. It's always great to hear your reports. It's always great to be in buildings. My connection with this area, I went to Bothwell and Fred Reedholm. This was one of the areas he was interested in, because he insisted that there were Native American mining going on in these woods here. That was the upside to these woods. The downside was that this is where a lot of Bothwell students had their first cigarettes. So it's nice to see the area be used for such a good purpose. The other thing I would note, it was kind of a side issue, and we got it in some of the letters we got to read, and these are fantastic, is there's kind of a playground renaissance in Marquette. We've got a new playground here, we've got a new playground in the Lower Harbor, and we forget that those aren't always just for students, they're for the community as well. And in an age where kids are spending less and less time outdoors, that they're connected to their screens, we're creating spaces outside that they can play, and that's huge, I think, for our kids. So thank you very much. It's always inspiring. It's always great to see a community. And also thanks for the pro tip. When I have mistakes in my documents, I'm just going to say that I'm letting other people find my mistakes. So thank you.
Thank you. Board president comments. Thanks for having us. This school is near and dear to my heart. All three of my boys went through here and had a lot of you as their teachers. And, you know, I love you guys so much and really just so happy to be here. And you guys, thank you so much for your reports and for everything that you do. I was at the assembly, and that was so much fun to watch. As someone that graduated from Marquette, it was so fun to see some of the traditions that we had when we were going through school still be going on now. So, great job. All right, announcements and other meetings. October 23rd, 2024, the MSHS and BMS Bands Holiday Spooktacular Concert at Kaufman at 6:30. October 31st is the PD Day, half day for students. November 1st is the end of the first quarter. November 4th is the Committee of the Whole in the Sandy Knoll Gym at 5:30. And November 18th is a board meeting at Graveret Cafeteria at 5:30. And we'll be recessing to closed session per parent request under section 8B of OMA to address student 2025-01 discipline matter. Do we need
Just a motion in a second.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to recess into closed session.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Hewitt, support by Mr. Zadunik. All those in favor?
Aye.